A new queen has been crowned. She is the liner United States, which holds a double Atlantic blue ribbon for speed. The $73 million luxury speedster makes the east-west crossing in 3 days and 12 hours from England to Ambrose Lightship, cutting 9 hours from the record held by the Queen Mary for 13 years. A royal welcome awaits the new monarch in New York Harbor as she steams to her berth. Sleek, streamlined, and trim, she completes the 2,900-mile run with an average of almost 40 land miles an hour, with a hint from her officers that she had plenty in reserve. President Franklin of the United States Lines and Grover Whalen congratulate Commodore Harry Manning, the skipper, on bringing back to America the Atlantic laurels for the first time in 100 years. A clean sweep for America's new Queen of the Seas.
I cannot believe I am here. The SS United States. This is it. This is the ship. Welcome aboard the SS United States. We were kindly invited by the Conservancy trying to save the ship and given a tour around this astonishing vessel. Join me as we look back to the past, peer through the tragic present, and look into the future. So this was all first class rooms here. And obviously they've all been ripped out. You could see, you know, that was a toilet there. This would have been a bathroom, and you could see the exteriors of the rooms here. But they were all ripped out. All these walls were ripped out because of asbestos. Wow. There's one of the elevators. There's another elevator right there to the other side of this. Holy crap. Huh. I can't believe how deep this is. And then some stuff is still retained, like this, the styling of the railings. One thing that's really, really interesting about this ship is to save weight, the bulkheads here had cutouts, and that was done for rigidity, to make the superstructure stronger. And from what I've been told, this was the first time that has ever been used ever in a transportation device. So if you look at a cross-section of an airplane wing, you'll see the same thing. It's commonly used now. But to save weight, the SS United States was the first ocean liner or anything to use that technique, which is really, really quite cool. There's just a ghostly aura about it all. And the echo of my voice. While on board, I was able to sit down with Susan Gibbs, the president of the SS United States Conservancy, the owners of the ship, and the organization dedicated to save the vessel. Susan is also the granddaughter of William Francis Gibbs, the ship's designer.
I first saw the ship here in Philadelphia. I actually never saw the ship prior to that, so in 2001, came and visited the ship, much like we're doing today, and was just so moved by the fact that she was still here, still kind of proud and forgotten, but there was a strength and a beauty, and I was kind of surprised that I myself had lost touch with the ship, and so had the nation and the world for that matter. It's hard to, she's gone through hell, I mean really. Pulled from service in 1969 because of operating costs and the fact that jet aircraft were taking over the role that ocean liners had once played. Since then, there have been a number of owners with dreams and plans and depredations along the way. I mean, back in 1984, there was an enormous auction that apparently still stands as the biggest auction of all time, in which people were wandering her decks, buying doorknobs and forks and towels and, just everything stripped off.
Boy, this ship echoes and makes so many weird noises. This was the first class theater and lounge. It's a first class lounge. So you had everyone traveling in first class performing on the stage, and then onto this original dance floor here, and with a sort of imprinted ceiling here with going up about 5 or 8 feet. And then it has windows that look out onto the promenade here, which in itself is such an incredible space. Look at these original doors. Let's push. Man. And then right down the promenade here, these doors hanging off their hinges. Wow. From what I understand too, this is one of the first iterations or the first uses of safety glass on a ship, which is really quite interesting. Over the years, there have been many attempts to return the vessel back to service. Most recently in 2016, when Crystal Cruises had expressed interest, yet pulled out later that year.
There have been a number of, from Crystal Cruises, as you mentioned, in 2016, that had exciting plans to restore her as a ocean-going cruise vessel. And in each case, usually it came down to money, and NCL, prior to Crystal, had purchased her with plans to bring her as part of their U.S. flagged fleet, and that sort of crashed on the shoals of the global economic crisis in 2008, 2009. So there have been reasons, but yeah, it's really fundamentally about money. She's big. This is a big project, and we aren't naive to and so it's going to take a lot, but we think we're getting there, and we think the time has come for this project to finally come to fruition.
Yeah, look at the railings here with the styling. Okay, and then these would have led into the theater with the clearly, well, I guess it's hard to tell on camera, but there's a significant slope here. And that's because there would have been actual theater seating. It's incredibly hot in this room, but you could actually see the styling, the wave of what would be covered with, styling of some sort that would give it a bit of a texture behind the steel around it. But this was one of, if not the first, seated theater on a ship.
When she's clear of New York Harbor, the United States responds to the commands of veteran deck officers. One of these experienced men signals full ahead.
This is the original navigation table.
Wow.
All right, so this is the chart table. This is where you have you lay out the charts.
Yeah.
And then these are where the wheels would be.
And then a manual windshield wiper. And this is the starboard bridge wing. With the ship coming in right now. Yeah, look at Philadelphia over there.
The sea air is irresistible.
Out on deck aft now, and one thing to notice is that there's no wood decks around this. I never really realized it. I've never thought of it before, but the entire deck is made up of a new material, at least at the time, that wasn't wood, which is unorthodox for a ship of this age, from of this era. But yeah, it's not wood. It's to save weight. You can see where the shuffleboard used to be here. Still holding on after all these years. And then above this precipice here on this would have been a type of court. So coming down from the promenade and down one deck here, this is one of the few massive propellers that the United States had. This was one of the biggest secrets that the ship came with. It was essentially designed by the Defense Department for this ship for United States lines. And this is a proprietary prop that allowed the United States to reach her incredible speeds. A fascinating piece of art, really. It's enormous. It's probably about, I don't know, 8-9 feet tall. And this right here too is wear from bubbles. When the prop is actually rotating, small micro bubbles will eat away at the steel itself.
I think it's often lost on people, but the SS United States is incredibly rare. The vast majority of ships from this golden era of ocean travel have been lost to the seas, or more often, scrapped. The United States is one of 4 prominent classic ocean liners afloat in the world, at least ones that I can think of, and it's one of 2 in America. But the other one, that being the RMS Queen Mary, has had some hardships, as I have covered in a separate video. That ship, currently formatted as an entertainment complex, was never successful long term. So what will make the SS United States, assuming the Conservancy's plans move forward, be different?
And in addition to the Queen Mary, there's also the Rotterdam in the Netherlands. That is another interesting and exciting example that is very profitable. And in fact, I visited the Rotterdam a few years ago, and it was just so exciting to see. As far as the Queen Mary, as you know, all of her interiors and fixtures and fittings, etc., were all intact. And by the way, the Queen Mary, I have to say, is the ship that the SS United States trounced in the transatlantic speed race. And the fact that she has been gussied up and is sitting over there in California and this ship is languishing is a little irritating. So the Queen Mary, all of her existing fixtures are in place. So the project there was really to kind of honor her as she was. And that is not the project here, because as you can see, the interiors have all been stripped out. So this is a kind of a blank canvas for a different expression of reuse. And I think that there's also a location, location, location mantra that a lot of the business viability of any historic liner, any real estate project in general, depends a lot on where it is. That's what we're working on now as well, is finding an awesome parking spot for this ship. So, I mean, I think the Queen Mary is fabulous. I think the SS United States will be different, and they'll Godspeed to both of them.
Anyone who's ever been aboard realizes that it's impossible to describe the experience. The only way to know what it's like is to travel on the American champion of the ocean.
When my grandfather was alive, he was so deeply attached to the vessel. Literally, he would call the ship every day. She was at sea. When every time the ship returned from a transatlantic run, he would have a driver take him out Brooklyn's Shore Parkway and stand there waiting for her to come, toward New York Harbor after her European trips, just gaze at her. And I guess I'm just really happy for him that he is not seeing her look like this. But on the other hand, the fact that she is still here after so much time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of continuing on this journey with her.
I let too much pride keep you away. I wouldn't give in, had nothing to say. We could have made up, but I never tried. Too much pride can hurt you so bad.